see. Good morning. If you're watching this, we're just like waiting for YouTube to confirm for us as usual. Just a second, guys. And let's see what happened here. Awesome. So I can see myself. So good morning. We are here, like Amanda and I are back. And welcome to our episode number 20. So the new beginning, as we mentioned on the last episode. It was episode 19. It was just before I went away for a few days to Brazil. I live in London, if you guys don't know me yet as well. So I went there for, I think I went on Wednesday last week. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm back again. And I might be a little bit jet lagged if you're looking at my face and everything, but it's all good as well. So welcome to episode 20. Amanda's here again, and we had a little, chat before we jumped in as well. And there's a lot of stuff about family, about expectation, about how we deal with, requests that our family must, sometimes do. By the time that we're recording this video specifically is getting closer to Christmas as well. So especially, and I don't want to make this just a video for Christmas or anything, but like any, family gathering that we might have, or when we meet family as well. And then from my situation as well, it was interesting because I went back to Brazil. I'm originally from Brazil. And then, I spent some time with my uncle. There was like some situations that I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of that as well, like of requests from my sister and my nephew, which is my godson as well, to go to his graduation, and then how to say no or yes, and see what the triggers that comes up with that as well. When I requested something from my uncle, and like what's the triggers or how I behave with that. And then it's an interesting kind of it's an interesting relationship that happens with family when you request something and you expect a response, or how you get triggered by someone saying yes or no, or when you get to say yes or no to something for some people that you love. And how can you respect your wanting and your desire, your what's coming from your heart, from your soul, your spirit, whatever it is that is coming to you, just say sometimes no. And how do you deal with when the other person might have been expecting you, oh, but you should have been coming to that party because you are the uncle, you are the godfather, or you are the you get to be in my wedding, you get to be on that place or something. And deep down you get to follow your heart, you get to follow your soul, how to deal with that situation as well.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna have a little chat today. And Amanda got some awesome like experiences there as well. So I just want to say hi. I mean, do you want to say anything before we kind of
Oh, bless you, Don. I just totally, much about what you're saying. And yeah, good morning, everybody. Lovely to see you. Lovely to have you here with us, whether you're live or it's recording. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference. The energy is still the same. It's wonderful to have you here with us. And I love our chats before we start talking as well. And we've had a few days off, and we're saying wonderful things have happened. It's a wonderful coming back to this space as well. I realise how much we've missed it actually. But yeah, we were just sort of saying how life makes things happen. If there's something within us that's a pattern or a belief or a behavior or a conditioning, and families, they're very ancestral, aren't they? They come out, they run along, and that's where the expectations, the should, the shouldn't, the ought tos, and that's where we can get into patterns of maybe you could be the people pleasing one, the one that wants the harmony, so you acquiesce too much. And maybe there can be characters in the family where, because they are used to perhaps being a bit more getting their way, or because if they don't, there can be such an upset that people acquiesce. But we're just saying that it's all the things we've been talking about already, isn't it? When we're able to recognize in an interaction with somebody, and it doesn't have to be family, but I think Christmas is one of those times where things can come up. Any reaction that an interaction with somebody else triggers in us, that's our business. to take care of. That's when, whether it's resentment, anger, confusion, frustration, hurt, and sometimes it can be past pains that we've not looked at yet because we're so busy going, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. In the need for harmony and have that approval, keep that relationship going because I don't upset that person. If I don't upset that person, we're fine. And is that a real authentic relationship? So, and actually we're not actually helping the other person. And likewise, both patterns, you know, if we're the one that's controlling, you recognize sometimes I've realized I'm a bit of a bag on with that person. I'm a bit mardy, you know. Do you know what mardy means? Mardy is that
No.
Mardy, it's kind of a Midlands term. If I'm just I'm a bit moody, I go a bit quiet. You're okay? Yes, I'm fine. You know, silent treatment. You know, you're like, oh God, you know, you kind of come forward, don't you, to fix it. And we're just saying that any reaction that we get in this, that's our time. And that's when we take care of our wounds, our hurts. And even if it is anger that comes up, it is resentment, there are emotions that are valid. There are emotions within us that are trying to take us to a place that's ready to be healed. Look at the people pleasing. So we're saying about situations, and I so wonderful your experience in Brazil. It sounded just amazing, and I know we'll talk about that more. But
Well, yeah, I'll share some of the experience as well. But yeah,
yeah,
if it feels good for you, share something.
and the situation happens where at the weekend, my beautiful, beautiful niece, we booked the wedding venue and it's near to me, and she's like a daughter, and I love her fiance, feels like a son-in-law already. And oh, it was just a beautiful weekend. Lots of love, lots of authenticity, lots of wonderful conversation where we could say what we thought, and there was no difficult conversations were had, and we were bouncing off each other because it was just a loving space. But there was a space where everyone was welcome to say what they thought, what they felt. And we all messaged on the Monday morning saying, oh my, we had such a relaxed, fun, joyful weekend. And we all started Monday morning feeling really chipper. But on the flip side, there's a situation where other family, I wasn't able to do something this other family expected. And for years, I always have. But another family member was in a situation that it felt in my heart, we needed to be with them. So I know this other part of the family are upset. And I think what I knew when I was aware they were getting upset and the guns were coming out and it was the you're wrong, you know, and I could feel almost a confusion in them of, well, God, normally by the time we've done these things, she normally is like, oh, okay, all right. And I thought, and what came up for me was some resentment, was some hurt, was some confusion, was some, I don't understand, you know, I know I've really done my bit here. And then through all the stuff we talk about, I knew it wasn't the time. There was some space that was needed because the reaction that was coming up in me was my work. And I'll be honest, there was a little bit of, why are they being mean? It's not fair. It's hard enough. Christmas is hard. I love Christmas, but we're conscious my husband isn't here. And it's my husband's family that are being like this. And that some hurt came up, and it was sad. And I think underneath the sadness, the confusion, the pain, the anger, because I really went through each of those layers and I sat with them, I held them, I nurtured, I talked to the parts of me that were feeling it. Finally got to the sadness. Pop, load of sadness came out, didn't last long. And then this beautiful calm. And an energy that really came up was a feeling of dignity and self-respect and then it was loving, and then it was all the things we talk about. I can let that person have their reaction because that's okay, and I trust now that life always makes things happen. That wasn't to punish any of us, it wasn't bad karma, it wasn't anybody was doing anything wrong. And I'm so thankful that this thing happened at the end of last week, because it allowed in me an opportunity, a space, a willingness. It was my choice to feel some very uncomfortable emotions. And this feeling of, Mandy, you're safe if you just do what everybody else wants. And you're safe, aren't you? You get their approval, you're in harmony, just do it. But actually, there was a part of me that was sort of not flourishing in that. And like you were saying about some of your experiences, Junie, weren't you? There were some situations where you had to say no. You're the uncle, you're the godfather, and your heart said, not this time. It's going to be a no. I'm going to have to disappoint you, but it's not because I don't love you. The no isn't because you don't matter. The no isn't because you're not important to me. The no is because I can't this time. My heart's leading me. And we know, don't we, the more time we do with the breathing, the going within, holding our hearts, doing the work within, self partnering, self parenting, self loving, bringing that love back, that intuition, that guidance, whether you want to call it our higher self, our soul, whatever you want to give it, that deeper intelligence, if it feels right to you, it will always be right for everybody else involved. Their ego might not like it, but it's an opportunity for that person's conditioned ego. Whether they do or not, we have no control, nor should we expect them to. And that's been a big one for me. I should not expect that person to look at this. They're on their path, and that's okay. And give them space, because when we keep wanting to resolve stuff by keep coming together in a reaction, no one's looking at what's going on underneath. It's almost like a form of denial. You give that person space to be with themselves and honor what's coming up for them.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, and this is exactly like the examples I'm gonna give here. Like, first of all, Amanda, thank you for sharing, your part as well. And I know, this is a public video, so maybe some of the people will be watching, some of the people involved into it as well. And again, this will be an instrument, like a tool for them to either get triggered or get healed. And then it's a choice that, they will have with watching this as well, if they do, in that sense.
Yeah.
In the same way, for me, I will share a little bit of the situations that happen in Brazil, and it's not the first time, and it's interesting as well, because with family, and as we were talking just before we jumped live here, it was there is an expectation, and especially for the titles that you hold. Because you are my father, you should be doing that, or because you are my godfather, or because you're my uncle, or and then there's it both ways in that way. And then I'll give you guys a couple of examples in different where I was in different perspectives in that way. So one is like, I was in Brazil for this past weekend. I i knew that my nephew would have like a graduation, but I thought it was last week already in terms of like the actual graduation itself. But now it's the ball, I think, when they go for dancing, and it's fancy. And for him, it was the most important part in that sense. So it's a beautiful thing. Um, but I had all programmed for a specific event that went there, and I was meant to be coming back yesterday, which is when I came back. And his graduation is, by the time this video is being recorded, today. Um, and then he called and he was like, "Hey, uncles, I know you're in Brazil, so maybe can you extend another 2 days and stay here?" And it is a simple thing, and it's not at the same time. But in my heart, I was like, I already, had plans to come back, and we have other trips booked in and everything. And I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check. And then again, I trust a lot the universe that if things will go easily, it was like, it's fine. I'm meant to be here in that way, and then I will work well. And then I waited, like, it was almost like an hour and something on the phone with airlines and agencies and Stripe, and it wasn't going easy in that way. I know that deep down I didn't want to stay there and everything, and there was an option to go or to come back on next week, but next week we're already flying somewhere else. So I didn't actually send a message back, "Hey, thank you so much. I love you deeply from my heart.
Yeah.
I am honored that you wanted me to be there. I know how important it is for me, for you,
Yeah.
for me to be there for you and for my sister as well, which is his mom and so on. But I won't, I won't make this time. And I know, like, and my mom was expecting almost a little bit of like me because it's my nephew and everything. And I said, Mom, like, and she was like, there was some of those things from family as well, but it's once in a lifetime. You're gonna take pictures, he's gonna remember forever, and so on. I was like, Mom, I appreciate what you're showing me here. Thank you so much for sharing. But my decision is this. It feels good. I feel tired after the event and so on. And I don't think that will be, a good place for me to enjoy and to make everyone to enjoy it as well. So I
Yeah.
came back, and then yesterday I had a call with them as well, had a little chat about this stuff as well. And they received it in a beautiful way as well. And I was like, look, we're going to create more memories. Like in January, we were in New York together. We took some pictures that we, in places that we haven't been together. We create experiences. And I was like, we're going to create more experiences. And who knows, if you're going to graduate from college, for example, I might be there. Do you see what I mean? And there will be opportunities for us to create memories that will be unforgettable and that will be together in that way. And it was a loving, situation where you can say no with love and respect, and they can respond. And I feel very, lucky and blessed that I have a family that now can receive it in a beautiful, in a beautiful way. At the same time, with my sister, like a few years back, and Amanda knows that we went through it, I said no to a situation as well. And that caused us to not speak for a few months, for about 6 months, a year almost.
Yeah.
At the same time, I know that that was the best, that happened because we had a space to connect to ourselves,
Yeah.
to find out. And now today we have a loving, transformed relationship again through that listening to a no. And
Yeah.
then the other way around, and I was just talking to Amanda as well. At the same time, in this weekend, I had an opportunity to join into a course that I really wanted to do it, and then I explained to you guys on the episodes here in few episodes as well. I'm going through financial challenges in my life and everything, and dealing with all my own things in terms of money and everything. But it felt good to join that new program and so on. And I was there with my uncle, who is my godfather as well. Do you see the same kind of request in there, kind of the other way around?
Oh, I hadn't seen
Like,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
it's interesting. And then I was like, and he helped me in the past, to mean with courses, and I know how much he invested on me and everything. And I was like, Uncle, how would you be okay to help me and support me on this one? And then he was like, yeah, I will help you and support you, but not financially this time.
Yeah.
And it was like a moment where I had to respect and allow and love the no from my uncle. In that sense, it's not, rather than going to victim mode, like, oh, you're not, supporting me, you're not, giving what I want, or you're not supporting my future, not, and because he was there and he could see how, valuable all the program and everything else. It was like, Junior, I love you, I support you, and whichever decision you take, and if it's going to make you, like, in a financial even more challenging or something, I will be there with you, and I will not blame you for being there,
Yeah.
and I will support you emotionally. I will give you ideas, whichever it is that you want. And I supported you financially before. I know you paid back and everything else. However, this time it doesn't feel right for me. It doesn't mean that it's not right for you. And it's for us to go through all those emotions and like expectations that we put into others or that we receive from others, and like how can we go within and then feel into those emotions, allow them to transform. And like beautifully Amanda put it in there, it can come from anger, confusion. Why did they respond in this way? Why did they, from neither side, from either sides, like from the person who receives the yes or the no, and from the person who actually gave the yes and the no.
Yeah.
And it is just our choice to, okay, feel into the emotions, like the stuff that we talk in all the episodes that we go into here. Feel into the emotions, then there will be a gift into it. And then each emotion, like Amanda put me there, it will pop, and then there was another one inside, and it will pop, and then you're going to be the next one as well. And then until you find your center, your power, your calm, your stillness, and then you're in a good place again. And the other person might not find that exactly now. And our expectation that they should actually find that peace, calm, and everything now, it's again, it's just bringing us to that place where we can just feel it and
Yeah.
then letting it go and allow and respect and love that person to go through their emotions in the way that they want to go through.
Yeah.
And sometimes it might need, a few hours away, or some days, or a few months or years in that sense.
Yeah.
It's knowing that we're following our heart, we're following what feels good, and not going for just people pleasing and always denying, like what we feel inside of ourselves in that way.
Oh, Gina, I love that, and
I
thank
love that.
you. Oh, thank you for sharing that, because that was quite a vulnerable thing to share, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Because everything we share here, it's never in a scapegoaty trying to name shame anybody. I think we're just trying to be really authentic, aren't we?
yeah.
Um, and isn't it beautiful how you've shared all of that? I haven't clicked the Uncle Godfather connection
It
on
was like
Facebook.
it
I
clicked
hadn't
as I
clicked
was
that.
sharing. Yeah,
Wow, that's profound, isn't it? And that's even more where life's same. There's some family patterns here, and also it's wonderful. You're saying all the inner work that you've done with yourself, all the healings, all the your choice to take responsibility for yourself. You're in a place where that external need for your uncle, you heard what he said and you trusted him, and you said, if that's what your heart is telling you to do, then it must be the right thing for me. And if there's some disappointment that comes up, or I can feel that, but you could feel in your uncle there was a genuineness. There
yeah,
wasn't a fog of, you've let me down. And we're not saying it's wrong if that came up, because that's an opportunity to go away. And we're going to do some sessions, aren't we, live, where we show people how to just feel each emotion. And if something comes up, there can be a part of ourselves that's got a little bit separated from that wholeness, that might still believe, well, he doesn't think I'm worthy then of the money, or he doesn't trust me. He doesn't, I'm not enough for him to give me the money. There's some lack here. We can then look at that part of ourselves and say, hey, sweetheart, I'm so sorry you feel this way. You are love, you are wholeness, you are worthiness, you're so valuable. But hey, sweetheart, come and talk to me, come back into our heart, because I can hear your pain. There's something within that has forgotten the love and the wholeness and the worthiness and the absolute love that's here for you here, and the abundance that's here for you here. And of course, as children, because we do have to rely on our external world to give us the love, the security, the money, the food. Of course, we are. We're babies. We can't go out and find that. But as we grow up and get older, we realize those fractured parts of ourselves. We bring them home, we welcome them back home to say, hey, remember, sweetheart, you are love, you are okay. This life, there's all the love, there's all the abundance, there's everything here for you. Um, and then I think it does create a wonderful energy as we go into that space. We hold that space for others to join us, don't we? And the story I shared about other part of the family, another family member who I have a wonderful relationship got in touch very quickly and was so wonderful. We have such a wonderful relationship. She was like, oh, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry. God, you do all the running around. These people live quite a long way away that I was expected to go to. They said, totally get it. Said, I think it's lovely that you're giving us lots of other dates. So it wasn't that I'd said, I'm not going. It was, I've got another family member that's on their own that day, and heart saying, you need to go and be with them. It wasn't a sacrifice thing. I wanted to. I love this family. I love my sister. Um, but it was so wonderful to have that person that we were both in that space of unconditional love of, we see what's happening here and let's see if we can work something else out, and it's absolutely fine. And there was no justifying or validating or name calling. None of us needed to do that. There was no it was just, we could both see that we wanted to be in a space of harmony and love. And actually, I can respect where somebody else is if they're not in that. And I'm so thankful, because it allowed me to really look at things that I hadn't really looked at and healed in my desire to. It's been very important to me that my children are part of my husband's family, very important to me. And I've probably taken on the responsibility and the mantle of that. And they're amazing people, they really are. I just know me saying no to a certain event has triggered them, certain parts of them. But they're good people. I'm not sitting there trying to make out or trying to validate anything, but we're just trying to do that authenticity, aren't we? Um, and I'm so thankful to them. I'm so grateful that this, it's only a minor thing that's happened, but what it allowed me to look at and nurture and heal and release from my body was phenomenal. And on a Monday morning, I was going somewhere, and I remember just blessing you. May you be blessed with, inner harmony. May you be blessed with self-love. May you be blessed with harmony. May you be blessed with knowing how much I love you and how much you matter to me. And almost may you be blessed with an inner dignity, because we know that hurt people hurt. So you think, it's a bit, it's about Neil Donald Walsh says, doesn't he, that what must be hurting in you that makes you want to hurt me? And it's when we've done enough healing on ourselves, we've come out of the fog of the confusion, the blame and the hurt and the resentment and all the things we've said came up for us. We were able to step back enough and observe and see with love that person in a place of space and say, gosh, actually, there must be some vast insecurity in you, actually, to be like that. This,
Absolutely right. Yeah, and what I think what's coming to me as well, like for everyone that's going to be watching this as well, it's like there will be moments where it's not an easy yes or easy no that we're going to say, because again, it seems like a cliche to say that, but every time that we say yes to something, we say no to something else. Do you see? There is a duality in there of like, yeah, I'm saying yes. You can't be in two places at the same time. You can say, yes, I'm going there, so I'm not going to be here. I'm yes to going out, you're not going to be home. Do you see? You're going to be in a different place. And sometimes it's a easy yes, like, yeah, I'm not going to hurt anyone or something. Or sometimes it's like you feel like on that place of like, oh, if I say no to this person or to this one now, which one my heart is following? And then there will be consequences. There will be, a contrast in there. Some people might understand it well, some people might not. And I feel like Amanda was sharing, it's just about allowing ourselves to go with the feeling, with the reaction of the other person of like, no, but you should have, you know, taking that step of like coming to this event and so on.
yeah,
But you get to respect your own inner self and understanding that every emotion that will come through that, like from that decision, it's actually owning and taking full responsibility. Yes. Oh, by me saying no, yeah, they got triggered. It's not even that I triggered them. They got triggered by my no.
yeah,
And it's not because they shouldn't get triggered. It's like, that's fine. And I love them and I respect them. And I understand that they can be triggered and they might not be accepting or seeing, my perspective. And that's okay. And
yeah,
that's a good place to be as well. And then just allowing that to heal and to sort it out in that sense. So I feel, I mean, not to make this episode too big for you guys, I know that you guys are going to get a situation where you get to say yes or no, and especially when it comes to family, relationship, and so on. And it's what I would love you guys to take from this episode, that you can follow your heart and you can take full responsibility of that. And you know that there will be consequences, and owning those consequences and owning that, you're not triggering the person. They are choosing, or they, subconsciously, consciously they might get triggered.
Yeah.
And you have an opportunity, both of us, you know, on that situation of,
Yeah.
okay, what do I do with those emotions? And I feel one of the most beautiful things that I think we're creating in here with Amanda is like that we're not avoiding those emotions. We're not saying that it's wrong to feel, you know, resentment. It's wrong to feel anger. It's wrong to feel to get triggered. It's wrong to trigger other people with our answer or something. All of those things are normal things that actually happen. And what we really kind of like, you know, it feels as our connection to connect with you is actually, how can I be with that emotion? How can I, you know, get the most of it? How can I find my inner self? How can I find my strength, my, you know, light? How can I use that light to shine even more to transform people around us that wants to get transformed about it? By choosing our path, by choosing our choices in that sense. So I wish that if you're listening to this today, just allow yourself to say the yes when it feels aligned to you. Allow yourself to say the no when it doesn't feel aligned to you, and really own the consequences of that. And really, you know, there is techniques that we're gonna teach you guys, but the more you repeat this, like all of this stuff that I shared with you with my uncle, my nephew, and so on, and my sister, and all the stuff, I feel very blessed because of all the work, like Amanda was saying. I could have done that on that breakfast table with my uncle when we chat, and then there's a little bit of a discomfort and, you know, a little bit of expectation, and then, oh, okay, I love you. Thank you so much for allowing me to feel this now, for allowing you to follow your heart in that sense. And the same way, the calmness and everything else to allow my sister to go through it, my mom, my nephew, and so on. So I know that you, I mean, you have the same strength, you have the same calmness inside of you, and it doesn't have to show at the first time, and it doesn't have to show, you know, it's okay if you get triggered, or if you got, you know, someone that got triggered. It's okay if you got angry, confused, you know, and then you want to do explode. It's okay if you do, you know, get angry with the people around you, and it's okay if they do the same way as well. And you have a choice of like, you, we can't force other people, and it's not for us to force them to change, but we can start changing ourselves, which will allow them to change as well, to be the example, to be the light for them to finding.
Oh, I love that, Junior. And we're saying, aren't we? It's we're deciding to take responsibility for how we're feeling, and that honesty. And even if a part of us blaming somebody else, 'cause that can feel a bit
Yeah,
uncomfortable. Can't it? It's okay to, it feels easy to be a victim sometimes rather
yeah,
than
yeah.
recognize patterns. And the more time you do spend in love, in that place in your heart, and returning to wholeness, that self-love, um, things that don't match that are going to show themselves as well. And it takes courage, I think, and that's what I wish everybody listening here today, that inner courage that as you start to act from a place of self-love and wholeness and worthiness and value and dignity and self-respect and inner sovereignty and unconditional love for the people around you, your heart will, I promise you, lead you in the right direction. And if your heart's taking you somewhere, it will not only be right for you, it will be right for the people around you as well. And sometimes people don't want to do the inner work. They don't want to look at patterns. They're not ready. It's too painful. It's too painful. That's
Yeah.
fine. You can love them, but it doesn't mean you have to keep putting yourself in a situation that doesn't match self love, loving, a loving space,
I
mutual love, harmony, because that's what relationships should be. They
yeah,
should be balanced, they should be loving. And I know I've used to just use the word should,
I know.
and perhaps going to change that to as we are elevating and returning to a consciousness that is very loving, the self love, unconditional love we know we love. Um, Anything that isn't matching that is coming up to the surface now to be healed and to be elevated. So it's all good. I think that's what we're trying to say as well. And you know when you've gone to a place of healing, because both you and I were saying that, oh my word, we're so grateful for what happened because it was such an opportunity for healing. It was painful, but it was an opportunity for healing. And as we heal and become more of that light and love in that space, then people can join us, and you hold that space for them to join us, and you welcome them there. You seal their goodness, you focus on their goodness, you see a relationship that is very loving and harmonious. But if they choose not to join you, that's equally fine, because we're not sitting there saying, it might be something that maybe we can't see, within us. So it's everything is an opportunity for healing.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. And I just, yeah, I'll finish that in that sense. But we mentioned few words in that we mentioned in few episodes. If you haven't heard or seen some of the previous episodes, I would advise you to do. But one word, one key word that we're using here. Sometimes we go through pain, and sometimes we cause pain, or it might be an illusion that we cause pain. We, like the person, go through pain through what we say. The yes or the no that we're going to say sometimes may cause pain to us or pain to the other person. And there's no right or wrong in that way. It's just understanding that pain is that beautiful thing that actually happens to us to wake us, to bring us to awareness, to bring it to who we really really are again. So I know this might sound a bit strange if you haven't seen some of the previous episodes, but I would really advise you to look into some of them as well. But pain is always bringing us to the place of awareness. Like, just if we go to the physical pain, if you touch something that's too hot, it will make you aware it's hot, and you get to take an action and you get to feel that, and then so on. So if it's something emotional as well, if it's a painful emotional pain that comes from a yes or no or interaction with a loved one and so on, there is an opportunity for us to bring us back to presence, awareness, to transformations, to light back again. So without making it too long again, guys, so thank you so much for being here. And if you actually get to say a yes or to say a no to a family member, just know that that courage that Amanda said, it's there, it's in you. And if you're listening to this episode right now, it's because you're meant to be listening to this, and you're meant to be saying, taking that step and honoring that and taking full responsibility. It might not go in the way that you want it to go, and everyone is, happy and everything else, and that's okay. And then you can embrace it and you can allow them to go through it as well. And
Yeah,
as time passes and as you train yourself and you find yourself, things will become a bit quicker, a bit easier. And pain becomes like your friend and not your thing that you have to run away from.
yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Junior. And we're just wanting healthy, loving relationships, and that's what we are creating a space for, aren't we? And that's what this is. And we're here with you. Anyone going through this, you're not on your own. We're here with you, and it's all about love, and returning to that as well. And that's all we're here to do.
Awesome, awesome. Guys, so if you like this episode with the practical thing, please let us know. Let us know that you liked it. Last week, I didn't say it to Amanda, but we got, our first comment on this
Oh,
episode was someone like, hey, thank you. And it was really, really good. There was someone that it's not from our environment, from what I am aware of. I'll share with Amanda afterwards.
ah,
But that's, it means, I know that you're listening to this. So if you want to, say a thumbs up, that will help us to reach other people as well. And if you want to subscribe, if you haven't subscribed yet, please to press that button again. I know that most of the YouTube videos, they do say that it's a cliche, but it's for you as well, just to remember as well. So if you want to, see the next episodes and so on, so subscribe to our channel. And if you want to receive the notifications, press that bell button as well. But and also, if there is anything that from this episode or any other episodes as well
yeah.
that you feel that you want to share, or you got triggered, maybe just share the triggers as well. Or if you were like, oh, there was something here that, yeah, it really connect with me, or if there's something that you want to highlight for other people to see it as well, comment below, and then we're going to be pleased, and we're going to talk about it on the next episodes as well.
Something that's going on in you, we will guarantee somebody else that sees that question,
Yeah.
they'll so glad they asked that, because I'm having the same thing. There are no new conditionings or emotions There's nothing new. So if you're feeling it, we guarantee you will not be on your own feeling it.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much again, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.
Love. Bye for now.